They parked a bright red Porsche in my deeded spot, and for a week I told myself it was a stupid mistake until the same woman smiled at me like she owned the place, and I realized the whole neighborhood had picked a side. My name is Marcus Hale, and for 8 years that exact patch of asphalt belonged to me and my wife, Lena. That parking spot wasn't just convenience. It was a line in the sand. We moved to Willow Ridge for steadiness, maples, porches, neighbors who knew each other's dogs. Lena taught piano, I fixed boilers, and our life was plain, but ours deeded parking, number 14 by the curb. When the red Porsche showed up, I left a polite note. 2 days later, the same car and the same smile from Veronica Cole, an HOA board member. At first I thought paperwork, then patience, then documentation. Lena said not to make enemies. I said it was principle. I made a binder, emails, receipts, time-stamped photos. Veronica had influence. Her husband ran a real estate business, and a lot of neighbors folded around them. The first escalation felt ridiculous: a tow truck at dawn, amber lights cutting the dark. Veronica arrived with a clipboard, Mr. Cole with that smug look. The tow operator said, "Sir, the HOA put the sign up. We're following orders." No one wanted to challenge board members, even when their orders were thin. The HOA meeting was when masks came off. Veronica at the podium, polished and practiced, painted me as the troublemaker, read a vague complaint, played a clip of me losing my temper years earlier. People applauded like it settled the issue. The room was deciding who fit the role of villain. They found a thread years ago. I'd filed a safety report about a contractor who later worked for someone close to the Coles. Small towns keep receipts. Veronica used that to recast me as difficult, then suggested mediation with an audience theater, not resolution. After the meeting, things got petty. Flower beds trampled, anonymous notes in the mailbox, someone keyed my truck. Our sprinklers were timed to soak the porch at dawn. Lena cried a few times, and I stayed awake replaying every neighborly exchange. I took a legal path: certified letters, deed copies, notices to the tow company. Veronica had resources, and then the HOA sent a lien notice for unauthorized use of common area. Tucked in the bylaws was an auction clause for repeated violations. It sounded absurd until it became real. The auction was the strange centerpiece: a Saturday in a warehouse, folding chairs, a tarp over a car. Veronica smiled like she was collecting votes. I sat with my binder, coffee gone cold, and tried to look anonymous. Laura, a mechanic who knew me, gave a small nod. Veronica had arranged a proxy bidder, a suited man who smelled faintly of new leather. He answered the auctioneer's call, and the numbers climbed. The auctioneer's cadence became the room's heartbeat: fast, relentless. When the lot came up, the red curve under the tarp seemed to hold the whole neighborhood's attention. I told myself it was principle, not spectacle, but standing there I felt something else: a need to reclaim dignity, to make a point. I bid low at first, then more. The proxy bidder answered, numbers climbed. When the gavel fell and the clerk called my name, a hush hit the room. Veronica's face went slack for a moment, like a curtain slipping. Winning wasn't simple satisfaction. It felt heavy, a complicated victory that asked more questions than it answered. People expected a trophy. They expected me to park that car in number 14 and film a triumphant clip, champagne over a hood, proof that I had beaten them at their own game. I didn't want to become a walking headline. Instead, I split the win into something practical. I donated the engine and parts to the vocational school where kids learn to fix cars, and I sold the shell for scrap, funneling the money into a neighborhood fund for home repairs. Watching a crusher swallow metal felt like punctuation, the end of one story and the start of another. After that, Willow Ridge shifted a little. A new HOA president, Mrs. Alvarez from the bakery, started holding forums and rewriting bylaws that allowed liens to be used as weapons. Some neighbors apologized quietly. Others kept their distance like a bruise. Lena slept through the night again. We fixed the mailbox on a Saturday with coffee and music too loud for polite ears. The town didn't become perfect, just quieter, with fewer knives for sale and casual conversations. If you ask what I learned, I say this: paper is powerful, but people give paper meaning, and justice is rarely tidy. Small fights turn into symbols overnight. A parking space can become a trophy, a lance, a story people pass down. I learned who would stand beside me and who would clap for the drama while staying safely detached. Mostly I learned that anger can start you, But patience and careful work finish the job. Sometimes I see Veronica in the grocery aisle, and we both look away. Small rooms keep appearing checkout lines, neighborhood events, the same town squares where we once squared off, and you either trip over old stones or you learn a new step. I won't pretend I was noble. I wanted a quiet life and fought to keep it. I was stubborn and strategic, petty when I had to be, and exhausted when it was over. So what would you do? Sign the papers, go to mediation, or buy the thing that tormented you and turn it into something useful? Were we right to play their game, or did we stoop to their level? Drop your story in the comments. Tell us where you're from and what you did. Tell me if you think I should have taken the trophy home or burned the bylaws instead. I'm Marcus Hale. This is how a red car taught me that a community can bruise, but it can also be patched, sometimes with duct tape and sometimes with a binder full of proof.